The topic, Tech Enablers for $4 trillion. Tamil Nadu is among India's most technologically advanced states, home to 40% of the country's SaaS unicorns, major global R&D centers, and a thriving deep tech ecosystem. As emerging technologies, AI, robotics, IoT, space tech, and advanced analytics are projected to drive 20 to 25% of global GDP growth, Tamil Nadu has a unique advantage to lead the next wave of innovation. The current session explores how these technologies can transform manufacturing, governance, mobility, education, and public services. We will gain insights into how digital transformation can significantly enhance productivity, efficiency, and innovation speed, critical drivers for achieving the $4 trillion goal. So let me quickly introduce our moderator and the panelists for this session. Our beloved moderator is Mr. S. Mohammed Yusuf, a digital software veteran having 35 years of experience in information, communication, and technology industry, including IT services, digital product engineering, digital transformation, and cybersecurity. He has led the technology, software product engineering, cybersecurity, and digital engineering practices with the responsibilities of global delivery P&L. He has vast and in-depth technology experiences in various platforms, including cloud, AI analytics, cybersecurity, and IoT. He was working in Cognizant Technology Solutions as Senior Vice President till Feb 2020. Prior to Cognizant, he was working in Cybercash India Private Limited, an aeronautical development agency in Bangalore. Currently, he is the CEO of FAMI Consulting Services, Director of Coda Technology Solutions Private Limited, and the convener of Miyasi Institute of Information Technology. He's also involved in 3 startups as a co-founder and strategic advisor. He has Bachelor of Engineering from College of Engineering Guindy, Anna University, and Masters in Aerospace Engineering from ENSE Toulouse, France. He also holds MBA in Finance and Operations. Ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed moderator, Mr. S. Mohammed Yusuf, founder and CEO of FAMI Consulting Services. And now it's time to introduce our fantastic panelists. First up, a very highly respected gentleman and intellect, it's Mr. Mohammed Sai Parur. He's the founder, president, and CTO of Nasdaq International Group, LLC, a leading US high technology and advanced manufacturing enterprise specializing in election systems, aerospace, and defense engineering, AI, robotics, and blockchain-enabled solutions. For over 22 years, he has guided Nasdaq's growth into a national leader, serving more than 32 states and supporting mission-critical Department of Defense programs. A pioneer in additive manufacturing, he has advanced multi-metal 3D printing, intelligent automation, and next-generation secure technologies. Committed to bridging industry and academia, he serves on the industry and advisory boards of Florida Atlantic University and Florida International University, mentoring and supporting engineering and AI-driven student innovation. A member of the Forbes Business Council, he's a globally recognized innovator with more than 20 US patents and a Guinness submitted multilingual AI system. Celebrated as the #1 innovator by Dubai's Innovation for Impact Awards, he remains a dedicated philanthropist focused on empowering future creators. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mohammed Sai Parur, founder and president and CTO, Nasdaq International Group. Thank you, sir, for making time for us. Our next panelist, Ms. Zeba Khan, is an electrical engineer who leads Zen Reality, a startup incubated at IIM Bangalore and NVIDIA's Inception program. Her company develops cutting-edge vision AI solutions and also offers AR and VR solutions under the brand Zenvis. Their customers include the Indian Navy, BEL, BEML, Siemens, GE, Wipro, and over 100+ enterprises across 12 countries. Prior to this role, she served as the technology director of Meher Advanced Materials, a company that manufactures specialized materials used in the energy sector. She has worked on several research projects in collaboration with multinational companies and has co-authored technical papers in this domain. She's also a member of the Rotary International Foundation and Meher Care Foundation. She plays an active role in projects that aim to provide free education, counseling, and healthcare to underprivileged people. Ms. Zeba Khan, founder and CEO, Zen Reality. Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am. And our final panelist of this session, Mr. Omer Ahmed Khan, is an accomplished technology leader specializing in data analytics, artificial intelligence, and large-scale business transformation. Currently serving as Executive Vice President of Data Analytics and AI at Swisscom, while also advising several European organizations. His career spans senior roles in leading firms such as Deutsche Telekom, DHL, and Infosys, with a proven record in building data-driven teams, delivering on global technology programs, and championing digital and AI-driven change across logistics, telecom, and enterprise sectors. He's also an angel investor in a portfolio of next-generation Gen AI startups and serves on the advisory boards of several firms across private equity, quantum AI, enterprise data AI, and SAP Consulting. He's also the author of the recently published book, Hope It Helps. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Umair Ahmed Khan, EVP of Data Analytics and AI, Swisscom. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Moderator. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Joseph. Assalamu alaikum and good evening to all of you. So what an incredible 3 days, that we had a lot of passion, interest, what else? The theme of the summit, the Unnada Tamilaham leading to 4 trillion for Tamil Nadu with, a good economy concept. Okay, all those things, translating into getting the 4 trillion. And in this session, is a little different than what we have seen so far. We are going to see how the emerging technologies, the new technologies or digital technologies are going to help to thrive, to get the accelerated growth of 4 trillion. Okay. To do that, I want to give a small concept into multiple fashions. So one of the things that he said was, if you don't do anything, okay, as such, how we are growing in Tamil Nadu, probably you get to a level, maybe for 3.5 trillion. Okay, let's say 3.5 trillion. So what we need to do is we need to do something beyond, something more, so that we get that accelerated growth of 4 trillion. There is a difference of 500 billion or something. So how to get those incremental revenue? And in order to explain that, he puts a triangle saying that if one company can get 500 billion, probably we meet the 4 trillion mark. Okay, theoretically, we can say. The other side of it is, there could be 50,000 companies, each can make about 100 million, for example. That will give that 500 billion of that incremental revenue. So, though it is a concept level, I want to say that the only factor that can get in all the scenarios, especially the scenario where we talk about one company getting 500 billion, okay, that is definitely possible using the emerging technology. So that's what, the message I want to tell. And this technology enabled, or the technology creating the value is being seen in the past many years. If you see, probably in 25 years before, the top 10 companies, the Forbes top 10 companies in terms of the market capitalization, probably you would have seen 1 or 2 tech companies, maybe Microsoft and Cisco. Cisco is no more in the list today. And if you see today, after 25 years, 8 out of 10 companies are the tech companies, right from Apple to Amazon to Microsoft and the chip making companies like NVIDIA, Broadcom, TSMC, whatnot. So there are 8 companies are there. So that itself says, each one, the top companies like NVIDIA or Apple or even Google, the Alphabet, they are all 4 trillion. It's equivalent to our India's GDP, one company. So I think that is the power of technology. Okay, that is the power of technology. So today we want to see how this technology is going to transform, it is going to help us, to enable us to get to this 4 trillion. Okay, so in that, there are 2 aspects to that I want to say before I leave it to the panelists. So one is the creator of technologies. The Forbes top 10, if you see, most of them are the creators of technologies. The people like Apple or NVIDIA or even Alphabet, and they are the creators of technology. That is the highest level, where you can aim for getting 500 billion, 1 trillion kind of valuation or the market capitalization. The other part is how those technologies can be implemented in any business, being it a healthcare, being it financial services or banking or retail, telecom, anything. Now, how to implement those technologies and enable the value so that we can grow. So, in this context, today's discussion, we will be discussing more on the second part, how we will use those technologies, leverage those technologies to enable or to grow our business in a more accelerated way. Okay, I think that is a focus. So with that introduction, I want to I want to get the panelist view in terms of, I want to hear from all of you in terms of, in your experience, how the technology has helped in terms of getting a very accelerated growth, in terms of getting the scale. In your experience, you would have seen multiple of those projects, multiple of those inventions. So give the perspective about your experience, and from that, give anything you want to advise, from the UEF members and our people in terms of how they can embrace those technologies for their scalable growth. So maybe we'll start with Brother Salam, and we want to hear from you, sir.
Assalamu alaikum and wanakam everyone. Glad to be here at the UEF Summit. I live in Palm Beach, Florida. 27 years I'm living there. I was in Chennai before. I would sometimes be a little critical. It's not personal against anyone. I went out of this country purely because of red tape, I would say. One of the most important stumbling block to reach the 4 trillion economy would be breaking the barrier of red tape. That's something very, very important. I can just give few examples. As I said, please forgive me if I'm a little critical. If you have to open a business in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, or India, anywhere, like a normal person, it's so difficult to open a business in India. In Florida, I can open a business in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes. And I can get the federal approval in another 1 hour, sale tax in 1 hour. By evening, I can open the bank account and I'm ready to start the business. It's not so easy here, a common man suffers. Influential people forget it. They have all the influence and contacts. But what I'm talking about, the startup businesses who do not have means. So we need to find a way how we could empower them. One of the key things I could tell here is all this red tape bureaucracy can be thrown away if we can bring in AI into the government system. Just for an example, creating a new business, bring in an AI system, all your sale tax, central government, everything could be just streamlined and people can start business in a couple of hours, comparable to anywhere around the world. One of the tech stumbling blocks, what I had about 10 years ago, Saudi Arabia used to be highly bureaucratic, I was trying for a project in Saudi Arabia to do a project in Masjid al-Haram in Makkah. So I put together a plan to the Saudi government for a digital transformation. This is about 10 years ago. And they wouldn't bite me. It took me 2 years to convince them. But alhamdulillah, thank God, we were able to convince them subsequently. And right now, our technology is there, existent in all the 3 big masjids in Saudi Arabia, in Masjid al-Haram, Masjid al-Nabawi, and also in Arafah Masjid. And it's impacting almost about 400 million people during the Hajj season. We guys implemented the technology service for a real-time AI-based translation system. Today, there are about 35 languages which have been translated from Saudi Arabia. So, the sky is the limit. That's what I would say. For too many technology opportunities, brainy people here in Tamil Nadu. My suggestion to UEF team is, I understand you have kept a 4 trillion target. You may want to break that down into four milestones: 1 trillion, 2 trillion, 3 trillion, and 4 trillion. I'm sure it's achievable if all of us join together.
Yeah, fantastic. Professor Salah, so you talked about the red tapeism, and you also gave the solution about using the technologies like AI.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. I was supposed to bring a humanoid robo to be next to me in the chair from Florida. Because of the red tape, we couldn't get it imported. Another small example.
Yeah.
Like we want to bring it, and so much of red tape, even to introduce the technology, there's a lot of barriers here.
Yeah, I understand. So just a consequence question. I mean, you talked about the real-time language conversion or the translation that you talked about. Know what we have done in Saudi Arabia, and also I know that you have done the election machines, election systems in the U.S. Okay, so one thing that we want to understand is, okay, how do you get this problem statement? In the sense, is it something which was told by the stakeholder, or is it something you I mean discovered and then approached with a concept or solution? Because that is one thing we always struggle, especially even from the entrepreneurial perspective or getting into a new idea and the startup and innovation or incubation. So finding the right problem statement which is a pain point for the people or pain point for the business. So how did you approach those two solutions?
As far as I'm concerned, like every problem is an opportunity. That's the way I look at it. I went for Umrah about 11 years ago. I don't speak a word of Arabic. I was sitting in Haram and trying to hear the khutbah from the Imam, the sermon, and he was speaking in Arabic. I did not understand a single word. And literally I was crying, what am I doing here? Like he's speaking Arabic, I don't understand a single word about it. So I found there is a problem there. Then when I did a research, I found like similar to me about 78% of the Muslim faith, they don't speak or understand Arabic.
Yeah.
So it took me about a year or two to do some research and then find a solution. We put it forward to the previous king, King Abdullah. It took again a lot of time to convince them. Alhamdulillah, finally, they accepted our concept and we rolled the project. First time it was 3 languages. We rolled out as a prototype project. Then it became 7 languages, 15 languages. Today there is 35 languages. That's one problem statement what we solved. Again, also election industry, going from India and establishing a business in US and Florida. You all know about the Bush election fiasco in the early 2000s in Palm Beach County. So when I was there, I knew there's a problem there, there's an opportunity. I analyzed the entire election industry in US, and it took at least 3 years to break that barrier. It was like 4, I wouldn't say a cartel, 4 businesses were ruling the entire US market. And for me as an immigrant sitting in America, trying to enter into the election industry, they put a lawsuit against me, against my business. They want to make sure that I do not get into that industry. There was one bid which came in and I was the lowest bidder, but they tried to push me out of it. But for me, I like to take challenge. Coming from India, we have the fighting blood, same like Brother Ahmed Buhari. So, I did not give up, and finally, Alhamdulillah, today we supply election equipments to about 32 states. We are one among the 5 vendors, number 2 business in the election industry in the US.
Fantastic. I mean, on the similar note, I don't know how much you are following about India elections, and we have been, using that, the electronic voting machines and some of those things. Do you see any problem statement or pain point or any solutions? Whatever we have.
The public confidence, I would say, is very low in the election system. There are technologies available, blockchain, and multiple technologies are available. Like if I would like to vote for a candidate, I would like to see whether my vote is counted. All of us are blindfolded today when we go and cast a ballot, whether it went to my candidate or not. There are technologies available. Even after the vote is cast, even after the vote is counted, even after the victory is declared, you will be able to see where your ballot is.
Yes.
That technology is available. I'm sure within the next 3 to 4 years, India would adopt that technology.
Okay, hopefully, let's see that.
Yeah.
And the work that you have done for Saudi Arabia for the real-time, the translation stuff, I think that you have got the Global Innovator Award for the
That's from
53
the-
countries, right?
Yeah,
Is that right?
that's from the government of Dubai.
The government of Dubai,
Yeah.
counting all the 53 countries or something.
Correct.
Fantastic. Give a big round of applause to him. So, thank you. So now move to Sister Zeba. I mean, so I know that you have been specializing on the vision AI. That's what I mean. We heard and you told, and you started. I mean, your incubation in the IIM Bangalore. I mean, along with NVIDIA, which is another tech companies, and we know that I mean, vision AI is one of the very niche area. But at the same time, we also see a lot of opportunities. In fact, yesterday when we were talking to some of the UEF members, I mean, they were all into the jewelry business. I mean, they were talking about some other problems. You know, we have a lot of problem in terms of identifying, you know, whether any defect is there in the final jewelry. There are multiple manufacturing processes are there. I mean, the kind of solutions that you are, I mean, coming up is definitely will solve that. Okay, so that is likewise. You know, there are millions of opportunities. There are many pain points are there. The kind of solution that you are bringing in. So what we want to hear from you is based on your experience and how you are taking your solutions, the technology solutions to different customers, and so what kind of scalability, you know, you have seen, and how you know, probably this kind of niche technological solution can be implemented in a scalable way so that we can grow the business. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that question. So I think I'll answer that question from a perspective of, you know, what Tamil Nadu can do, you know, to reach that 4 trillion. So there's already a sector here which does very well. You know, manufacturing, you mentioned jewelry, there are many other sectors. So things like automotive, where already, you know, Tamil Nadu is one of the leading automotive hubs of India. 15% of India's factories are in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
Also, the highest factory count of India is in Tamil Nadu. And in comparison, Tamil Nadu only has 6% of India's population. So you can see, you know, how much focus there is on manufacturing. So what I would say is double down on that sector, but, you know, you can do it better and do it better with technology. Because what AI does today is it gives you an advantage. It can help you even with less resources. You can, you know, do much more. You can reach quality levels which are, you know, of global standards. You can have higher reliability. You can also, you know, be more profitable, to be more competitive in the world. So why can't we compete with China? You know, we should. So we can be as competitive. We have, you know, all the, you know, the brains out here. There's so many innovative technologies out here, and I see that when we deploy our solutions as well. One of the sector where we've got a lot of success is defense. So there are policies now in place where, you know, 75% of defense production needs to happen here locally by 2047. So there is a push for that as well. And what that means is defense production will have to happen in India now. And when these kind of, you know, critical components, things which were typically imported in the past, are being made and manufactured in India, you need to strengthen our ecosystem as well. So when you don't have that much of, let's say, the nascent, you know, expertise here, one way of doing it is bringing in technology. So you said visual inspections. So we've actually deployed visual inspection solutions for the Indian Navy, for example. And they're doing complete inspections of products, things which are critical components, things which they used to import earlier are being manufactured here and being verified here with our technology. We're also, you know, deploying a lot of solutions to do with tracking productivity of factories, to check SOP adherence, so the standard operating procedures. Are people, you know, performing the right sequence of events to manufacture the products in the right way? So starting from the raw material inspection to the process manufacturing all the way to inspection, you can actually bring in a lot of these technologies along the way to really improve, let's say, your, you know, the overall quality and output. And that's what we need to do, you know, as a country, as a community, utilize technology. Because, I mean, if you go to China and you see the factories, they have dark factories.
Yeah.
There will be, you know, 1 lakh square foot factory with 2 people.
Yeah.
You will be amazed to see that things are working, you know, multiple pieces, you know, million pieces per per hour getting manufactured without a single person even touching it. So that is what we are up against, and that's what we need to compete with. And with a lot of geopolitical things now, India is becoming the, China plus one. There is a China plus one policy, so we can utilize that. So strengthening our manufacturing sector with AI, I would say, would give a big push and be a very big tech enabler for Tamil Nadu. Yeah.
Great. And you talked about, leveraging the solution that you are bringing in the manufacturing side, being it a jewelry or automobile you talked about, or even for the defense, okay? And today, from the technology standpoint, the Industry 4.0, people are moving into digital twins, and there are so many things are happening across manufacturing industries, even in the Gulf, oil and gas industry, or even cement industry and other things. So, do you see this solution, can be probably, embedded with the digital twin and can be taken, because we are talking about the scale. So you bring certain things, and it's looks to me like a point solutions in multiple of those manufacturing industries. So I want to see, how do you see this in a scalable way to take it, in a broader context like digital twins or the Industry 4.0?
So again, a very good question. So like how automation and let's say, mechanical automation is done with robotics. So vision or, let's say automation is not that prevalent, at least in Indian manufacturing. Even if you look at MSMEs, still you need a human to stand there, look at something, take a decision. So there's a lot of, let's say, subjectivity that comes into it. If you have repeat parts, how many, times can a human keep looking and doing the same job and still doing it with the highest level of accuracy? So bringing even vision-based automation is very critical in the manufacturing sector. And what AI does now is it's made it more affordable. So earlier, if you had to bring in vision AI technologies, you would need, cameras that cost a couple of crores. You would need very expensive, computing systems. You don't need that anymore. You can actually do it with very low-cost cameras. In fact, we've done deployments on factory floors, whether it's a wire manufacturing unit, someone making jewelry, someone making shoes, even the defense, it doesn't matter. So irrespective of the sector, you can set up certain vision automation with cameras that cost not more than 20,000 rupees. So this is affordable technology. AI has made these technologies now affordable, and with that base and that general intelligence coming in, using it to your advantage, I would say is what everybody should be looking at, and you should have initiatives within your organization and also community initiatives to see how we can push the economy forward by utilizing these technologies in the right way, because they are accessible now, unlike before.
Great. And so we talked about the manufacturing industry. I just want to know, do you foresee your solution can go beyond that? Maybe you may want to discover something new, just go beyond the manufacturing industry. For example, the deepfake kind of thing, even today what's happening with the AI and other things. Do you see that this kind of technologies can give a solution in future, some sort of inspecting, something, and then not necessarily manufacturing, not the physical product, even the virtual or the digital products?
So yes, we work a lot with even virtual reality solutions. So the advantage of AI is you have a lot of data. And when you have a lot of data, you can model that data, and then you can start making predictions as well. So that's like a real advantage of it. So you can actually model and visualize and see what the output of something is going to be. So that's where this technology is headed, where you are doing something, but then you already know the outcome, so you can take those corrections, or the corrections will even happen automatically. So it's sort of a self-serving system which only improves the efficiency of everything that we're doing. So, and even virtually, I think there are certain use cases where bringing things into the virtual world work, like things like training. If you want to, let's say, experience something, visualization is great. But ultimately, when you're talking about pushing an economy forward, I think there's still a lot of work on the ground that needs to be done outside of the virtual world. So,
Got it. So since you touched upon the data, so it'll be a good segue to move to Brother Omer Ahmed. So Omer, you come with tremendous experience in data analytics, now with artificial intelligence, and so you have seen multiple industries. Today you are in communication, telco industries. You worked in logistics and other things. So we all know that data is the new oil. I mean, data is something which everybody should leverage using technology, and that will be, in my view, it will be a growth engine for the revenue or for the company. So, in your experience, tell me how data can be leveraged for the growth that we are envisaging, like a 4 trillion in Tamil Nadu.
Thanks for that. So, it's true. To be honest with you, I've been working in AI for the last 10 years, even before AI became sexy.
Yeah.
We've been there doing this for a long time. And the biggest challenge you have with AI today, and the biggest opportunity, is AI needs data and context.
Yeah.
It's a very smart machine, but you have to give it with data and context. And that data and context is the key asset or the crown jewels of every enterprise. You know your customer, you know your manufacturing, you know your supplier network. And this data, if it has the right foundation and you give that to AI, you multiply. If you look at a lot of the companies right now, there's a lot of hype and also disbelief in AI. It's purely because people start to apply AI without thinking about the foundation. AI is like a simple child. If you tell it that an apple is an orange, it will start thinking every time it sees apple, it says an orange. And that's exactly where every enterprise will start looking at, what is my key asset? It's my data, my information, what I know, my intimacy with my customers, my intimacy with my suppliers, and how do I get this ready so that an AI can come help me accelerate. Some people keep asking me, how do I know I have enough context or data? I'll give a simple example. I say, you can hire one employee. In 1 month, that employee has to be productive, but you can't speak to the employee. You can't talk to the employee. If you have enough data and information that the employee can read, understand, and have a context without you talking to that employee, means you have enough understanding of it. And that's what AI needs. It needs a lot of data and context. Yeah. And if you don't give it the right data and context, it does not come into play. Just a little bit on this, because I think all three of us are a little bit experienced in AI, and that's been our field. I think that's one of the areas where I think United Economic Forum and Tamil Nadu should look at, is to set up an AI startup company. You don't need land, you don't need infrastructure, you don't need heavy machinery. You need 4 or 5 smart people, a laptop, and a room. And that's what it takes.
So the internet connection.
Exactly, an internet connection. So it's easy to get started. There are a lot of great minds out here, and the biggest thing you need to do is tell them, find a good problem statement. Don't build a solution. Don't be a solution looking for a problem. Have a problem statement, get together and solve it. And this is exactly how incubators happen a lot right now. And that, I think, is a key growth where without a lot of investment, without a lot of infrastructure, you can get started tomorrow. You can have a startup in the corner of this room start tomorrow. It's as simple as that. And that's the beauty of this technology, which really helps you. And one last thing I'd just like to say is, so I'm coming from Switzerland. So in the last month, I had the pleasure of being in the west coast of US, in China, in Turkey, and in UAE. And as a European company, the biggest problem we have is trust. You can't trust America because of the changing rules. You don't want to trust China, and that's an opportunity for India. Saying that, guys, India stands for trust. People don't come to India anymore for low cost. They come here because of high-end talent like Zeba and the others. And that's a little bit of where there's a great opportunity for us to say, you can trust what we build here. It's high-quality stuff. And this is where it's a great alternative for Europe, because Europe is a bit lost. In Europe, we don't have the capital in terms of people. We don't have the universities like you have the IITs of the world and such like. And they're really looking for an answer. They're really looking for an answer, saying that I can't depend on the US because I don't know when they screw me. Forgive my language. I don't trust the Chinese. I don't know what's happening. Where is the alternative? And bang in the middle sits India. And that's exactly what we have to do. Making sure that we become, Tamil Nadu can stand for trust. Trust in Tamil Nadu kind of a story. Which you say that, now this is where you come when you have a technology challenge. We are the best alternative to anybody out there when you want to build tech, when you want to enable your companies. Yeah. And believe me, in Europe, we are super hungry. Yeah. Super hungry for solutions. In fact, I've come here because I'm setting up a center of AI acceleration in Pune tomorrow. So it's all about, this is where the talent is, and we have a great opportunity.
So Umar, just you talked about the trust. I mean, that was the whole reason when we put Unnada Tamilaham, 4 trillion for Tamil Nadu, then we say good economy. So the good economy is also telling about the trust, integrity, and the responsibility. Thanks for highlighting that, and definitely, we will take it up. And you also talked about, having the AI Center of Excellence through, UEF, and it has to, come into a mainstream. Obviously, every technology, when it becomes democratized, for example, AI today has been democratized. Most of the people think that the ChatGPT. So ChatGPT becomes like, everybody's thing. But a lot of people think AI, for that matter, any technology, buying a tool and installing and using is that I'm leveraging technology. So to me, I think, you get at the most a point solution, but you will not creating an impact from end-to-end perspective. So I know, Umar, so you have been envisaging a lot about reimagining the business, reimagining the business or the processes or your business from end-to-end perspective and bring the tool, whether it is AI or anything. So can you throw some light, because it is very relevant to all our UEF members.
So I educate a lot of people in Europe saying that AI is not artificial intelligence. AI is active imagination. Yeah. The question is, can you reimagine how you work with technology? Can you reimagine your processes? If you apply AI to how you work today, you will get very small impact. But if you start thinking, for example, how do I design a smart factory using the vision technology? Not how do I apply vision to my existing factory. How do you reimagine your processes? How do you reimagine your business with this technology in the middle? That's what makes a big difference. For a lot of leaders in my company, I've had my entire board do reimagination workshops. We put them in a room and say, here is how you work, come back and reimagine. Focus on the problem. If you can reimagine the way you work, the technology is there, it's democratized, it's available. The best thing about AI is a leveling technology. If I want to open a company, I need a tax consultant. Tomorrow I can have AI become my tax consultant, and AI can become my financial advisor. But it's really democratized it. So my advice always to all entrepreneurs is, think about reimagination. Can you reimagine the way you work to be able to create an impact? So that's the key thing I would say, active imagination.
Okay, so I see time's up, though we have got 1 hour, so now it's 30 minutes itself, they have given the time up. But anyway, whatever we wanted to convey, we have done that. But one last question, probably I want to ask and hear from all of you. As we heard yesterday, Tamil Nadu is a state where the highest number of SMEs are there, okay, MSMEs are there, okay. And another thing is, not many people have talked about, is the unorganized sector. Today, unorganized sector gives a lot of employment in the country, including Tamil Nadu. So even if you see from UEF perspective, there are a lot of MSMEs and a lot of women entrepreneurs, okay? Maybe organized, maybe unorganized. A lot of coming out with the new products, new ideas, okay? So in your perspective, so what should we do, okay? From MSME perspective, from unorganized sector perspective, how we can bring some of those latest technologies or the digital technologies to leverage that technology, for the growth of these segments. Yeah.
I would suggest, UEF is a fantastic platform. So all those unorganized sectors, like if they become a member of UEF, I think they have so many fantastic programs where they can take it to the next step. Like even startups, like they have so many programs where UEF can guide and take them to the next step. One additional thing I would like to predict, and I would like to predict in this stage, in the next 7 to 10 years, there won't be banks. You may laugh at me, but AI is going to replace banks, and you're not going to see State Bank of India or any of those banks. And I hear a lot of horror stories from small startups, banks. They only welcome the people when they don't need money, they come and give money to you. Yeah. And when you want money, they don't give it to you. Yeah, so I'm a strong believer in alternate sources. And I'm looking at, I work currently with at least 2 or 3 AI geniuses. They are trying to replace the banking system. And I think it would be a reality within the next 7 to 10 years.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Iba, you want?
Yeah, so I think the question was, what can the MSMEs do? So I think the best thing is to start small. So start looking at where your bottlenecks are within your organization and how you can solve it with AI. And there are enough people out there, either startups, larger companies. In fact, there are people who you can also onboard. You just need a small team or maybe 2 or 3 people who can come and see what available technologies are there and how you can solve it. So I think always start with the bottleneck, how I can solve it with these existing technologies. And once you've done enough iterations of that, as an SME, you'll realize that there's a lot of value to unlock with this technology, and you can actually leapfrog and you can start competing with much bigger companies. So I think unless you try it, you will never know. So don't have that sort of barrier that it's something that's unattainable if you're an SME. It absolutely is. There are available technologies out there. There are platforms out there. And to start, almost everything is free, right? Even ChatGPT, if you want to start, you can get a subscription and start. But one word of caution is to be careful with your data. Be very careful, especially if it's proprietary data, how it's being used. But definitely dabble with it, and only by trial you will know how it will benefit you. Yeah.
Omar?
I think the most important thing for a startup, I fund a few startups, is the go-to-market. So if UAF has an access to MSME and you have the technology people, create the marketplace. Tell the startup saying, here's a marketplace of all the challenges these small companies have. And you have a lot of smart brains who can bring. You can be the best network connector. So if you're startup minds and you have the MSMEs, and UF could be the one in the middle saying, let's connect them. You have a problem, I have a technology team. And give the people, startups, the biggest challenge is access to the market. Yeah. That's where everybody struggles. You have to have a go-to-market strategy, and that can be made easy by UF because you have a network of MSMEs, and then you have a network of startups. Put them together, you make a lot of value. Yeah. Simple.
Yeah, I believe that this question is very valid because in the earlier session we heard from Mr. Bala was saying that the only sector is MSMEs. We are struggling because of the legacy of the business. The brick and mortar kind of business. They are not able to raise monies or whatever. But I strongly believe, as you said, all of you said, that technology is the only thing which can enable maybe to reimagine the business, so that they can elevate, they can grow. And in fact, we have multiple of those examples even in UEF. And I think I see Mr. Kader, who is having a brick and mortar of doing the agri food products. And today he wants to use AI to build a new online platform. To do that. That is the kind of reimagining the thought process, reimagining the business process should come, and which will help. Okay, the final question, one word answer I want. So what we should start from UEF perspective in terms of technology? We didn't talk much about any of those technology except AI, or maybe the vision AI that we talked about. Everything is around AI. Is there anything other than AI? I want to hear one word about the technology which can help our companies, our UF members or otherwise, to grow to the level of ambition that we have. Omar, you want to? Yeah.
I would say green economy, sustainable economy.
Green. Yeah.
That was going to be my answer. No, but apart
so we got
from
two
that,
votes actually for the same. Okay.
No, so definitely the green economy is something that companies can look at, and SMEs can look at that as well. But the other thing I would say, in terms of at least positioning, would be transparency, because especially out there, if you're trying to invite more FDIs, we're talking about how this
investments.
You need more financial investments to come into the country. You need to be more transparent. You need to also build trust. So these are other things that we're to look at, which are not necessarily technology focused, but also it's part of doing business. So to invite more business into the country. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wish your vision technology can identify bureaucracy, how to I would suggest, there's great opportunity in drone technologies. People may think drone, a lot of countries are doing. China, Turkey, US to a certain extent. There's still a totally unexplored area in drone technology, different variants. Like if Tamil Nadu can set up few plants of drone technologies, I can predict that's would be a steroid. I would say the economy would be in steroids, especially in these technologies, defense where they are totally dependent on drones and humanoids, it's never too late. If we can start up something like even small, I'm sure like we can hit this game much faster than what is predicted by UF.
Yeah, fantastic suggestion. I think there are a lot of traction that we are seeing it. Okay, so I think we come to an end, and so I really want to open up some questions for the audience. I don't know whether we have time, so maybe we can conclude here. Thank you. Thanks again for all of you, and thanks for the panel. Okay, thank you.
I request our doctors, Dr. K.M. Abul Hassan, Dr. Malik Mohammed, along with the President of United Economic Forum, Mr. Ahmed Buhari, to give away the mementos. Mr. Mohammed Sal Paloor, Founder, President and CTO, Nasdaq International Group. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause. He's a phenomenal gentleman. His device is now used so that when you go to the Haram, you can hear the khutbah in your own language, so you understand it better. And then the many more innovations, robotics, AI. He's on the cutting edge of what technology can be. And it's a pleasure for us to have him here. Thank you, sir. To our beloved moderator, Mr. S. Mohammed Yusuf, founder and CEO of FAMI Consulting Services. Thank you for expertly leading the discussion and giving us insights on the world of technology, which will take us to $4 trillion. Ms. Zeba Khan. A bigger round of applause for this young lady. Brilliant. Working the world of AR, VR, literally changing the way we see the world. And of course, bringing in a wealth of knowledge from his experience with data, AI, and analytics. When the world talks only data, we need leading lights like him to tell us how we can better use the data. Mr. Umair Ahmed Khan, EVP of Data Analytics and AI, Swisscom. I request all the dignitaries on the dais to come together for a group photograph. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you, moderator, panelists, and all the distinguished dignitaries on the dais.